Good morning, good evening, or good night, depending on where you're watching from. My name is Mateen, and today I actually have a very interesting part. I was actually really excited to do this video because I actually couldn't find anybody that has installed one or looked at one. This is an XAT QuarterMaster racing clutch twin disc for the 2JZ to work with an R154 transmission. So why I purchased this particular one was it was an unsprung clutch and it's a 7.5 inch disc. So hopefully I'm going to get better response from the engine. It was also relatively inexpensive. It's actually one of the cheapest ones that you can purchase from Superstore. They were really nice, and they're always offering me great service when I order parts from them. So let's go ahead and open this up and take a look, and we can take and see how, what's the quality of this and the boxing. I'm going to take my time a little bit with this one because I feel like people are going to want to see what you're getting from the Superstore, because to be honest, I wasn't really sure in detail of what needs to happen to make this work and what I'm going to be getting. So I'm actually really excited about this. And I actually waited quite some time. This took me 2 weeks, and this actually still requires one more part. They said it was the flex plate bolts or the flex plate adapter, something like that. So I have no idea what I'm opening up when I open this box. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what we have. So QuarterMaster, in case you don't know, QuarterMaster is a racing clutch brand that offers a lot of parts for NASCAR and American and domestic vehicles. One thing I really like about it is you can actually, on their website, they actually have all the clutch discs and replacement parts available to people for purchase, along with Superstore that sells them too. So I'm actually have really high hopes because this seems to be a domestic brand that does a lot of work in the racing community. So hopefully you can get a lot of support for this. This particular clutch is rated to 800 foot-pounds of torque, and it's a twin disc. This is the rally style as opposed to the triple plate, which wasn't that much more expensive. But I definitely prefer to have reliability. If you've looked at my last video of the exhaust manifold that I have from SPA, it works. It's just worked super well. So let me continue here and finish unboxing, and enough of me talking. All right. Okay. It's a Scotch branded cutting scissors. Oh, okay, so they actually did give the starter ring here. This is really cool. I'm actually really excited about this. Okay, so first when you open the box, you have this nice padding here. So we'll move that here. So pretty much what this is a simple flex plate okay, so this is welded with teeth on it. Okay, so you can see this is a basic flex plate. It's actually really light. I've always loved flex plates because just how light that they are. Or the starter ring gear. They actually charged a pretty penny for this, but since you already have this to replace the clutch, it's only, it's not that much more expensive. So the next thing that they have in here is the actual QuarterMaster clutch. Now this clutch actually has been modified, because if you actually do go on their website, they don't offer it. I can't lift this. Let's do it this way. Okay. There we go. All right. Okay. QuarterMaster. Hopefully I'm saying that right. QuarterMaster. So here it is. Let's keep going. I'm actually really excited about this. Okay. So first thing you see here is the Superstore R154 QuarterMaster twin or triple disc clutch and assembly. That's just so cool. So they actually explain to you everything about it. To fit the R154 transmission, it said definitely pay close attention to the release bearing according to the instructions provided. Automatic starter ring gear, automatic starter spacer. So it looks like they didn't send me the spacer, so I might need to still have the spacer. However, they do offer the part number, so this is really good. They actually have all the part numbers on here, so if you need to reorder that or order that separately, you should be able to do that, which is good. And they actually have the torque settings and instructions here. This is really good to have. So I'm actually so far very impressed. Okay. So they have ARP bolts. These will go, not too sure, but these are too short for the flywheel bolts. So I'm not sure where these actually go, but some ARP studs, ARP bolts. Anytime you have ARP bolts, it's super high quality ARP, never had any issues. Everybody in the racing world uses ARP bolts. So here's some more QuarterMaster bolts. This I'm sure is for the actual clutch in itself. All right, let's see what we have here. Of course, we have the required sticker. And I guess, you know, they're QuarterMaster, but, you know, with selling R154 stuff for as, you know, inexpensive as they are, they're more going to be like Drift Master clutches. So we'll see about that. So here's some more instructions: bell housing alignment, input shaft, washer bolt, discs. They're just talking about how all the discs need to be lined up. Great instructions. This is sort of more of a universal clutch that has been adopted through Superstore and I guess their machine shops to get this to work right. But it looks very simple and looks not too bad if you have to talk to them again for parts and whatnot. Let's see here. Anti-seize. Nice troubleshooting guide. This is actually really good. I've actually purchased a few clutches through, I've bought an XATs, I've bought a spec clutch, bought tons of new clutches, and their instructions haven't been as good as these are. So these are some really, really good instructions. You probably, if you get one on these own, you probably don't even need to watch a video like this, but this is sort of just an unboxing so you can kind of understand what you're gonna get when you order something like that. Okay, so the next step up we have should be the clutch in itself. Now this is a tiny clutch. This is a 7.5. This is the reason I decided to go with this particular brand. And now I completely understand how to assemble this thing. So this will go, this is effectively your flywheel. And you can just see how small this is. This is the OEM gear. So you can see how much smaller this is. Let me not touch the surface. So the idea is that this will go onto here. Just like that. It'll fit all the way through. And then you have your clutch that goes up here. And you can just see, you know, how much smaller it is. We have in here is the actual clutch in itself. So let's take a look here. So this is the QuarterMaster clutch. It looks like they have everything sort of in place. And one of the things we can do to check quality, I don't want to lay this flat on this table, but I also want you to be able to see it. There's another bolt here. So Looks like I'm missing a couple of bolts. Maybe a couple of nuts here. These are all the same size, so I'm not really sure. These go on the outside, clearly, to bolt it together. And then these go on the other side, and you gotta use Loctite. So what's really cool is this is the flywheel. That's so cool. And then the clutch in itself. Let's see here, let's see if we can take one of these discs out so you can take a look. Beautiful clutch. I can't tell the material. It looks almost centered iron, but I'm actually really impressed with the quality. There's nothing jiggling around. Sometimes these bolts jiggle. This is actually very beefy. This is probably beefier than the spec that I have actually now, just as far as the thickness that's going around here. And you can actually see that it's glued together. There's no bolts. One thing that I noticed in the quality is that they use some of the companies use rivets, and I've seen in some forums that they do the rivets do break, especially when you get to a very low amount. So that's one thing that's very cool about it. I really like it, and there's not a lot of, it's pretty solid here. Another thing that I like to look at, put that on here. Well, this is all in one piece. So another thing that I want to look at, since this goes on to here like this, so we'll put this here. Doesn't really say flywheel side or not, but I'm sure the instructions that I have will tell me exactly how this goes. So another thing that you look at is play here. And the reason why you look at the play on this sort of centerpiece, the reason you look at the play here, for me, is how much chatter it makes when you press the clutch pedal in. Sometimes it can make a lot of chatter. It's actually, I kind of like it, but it doesn't really affect the performance that much, but it is nice. And that is a cool looking piece here. You can see that. I'm actually so far very happy with the quality. This will go on here like this. Boom. All right, and then we have the other clutch disc. Little pieces here. I'm just loving the quality here. It even says, so it's really neat, as you can see that every single one of these here actually says QuarterMaster on it. I don't know if you can see that. It's sort of tracking my face for focus, so may not be the best. But each one of these bolts here says QuarterMaster on it. This is why I shoot in 4K, so you can see all the details when I look at these parts. All right, now here's for the fun part. Boom. Okay. This is the pressure plate. V-drive. It looks so cool. Made in the USA. QuarterMaster. It's just such a cool looking clutch. I love it. And you can see V-drive here. 0.5. So this is pretty neat. So this is like I said, this is they have a lot of this stuff on their website, and Superstore has it specially designed to work with the R154. It seems to be such a great quality, and I'm really happy with this so far. So let's kind of sneak this on here so you can get an idea of what this whole thing together looks like. It's actually not as light as you might think, but it's also not as heavy as you might think either. Let's see here. Yeah, I have one of these clutches on backwards. Don't worry, I'll look at the, I'll definitely read all the instructions before I install this and make sure I do it correctly. Okay, that's pretty much it. That's the assembly there. And you can gauge the thickness, and you can see this is going to require hopefully a rounded tip. I'll read the instructions a little bit more to figure out exactly what this looks like. So I think that's it. That was really exciting. I actually was really excited to see you know what this is. You know, a 7.5-inch clutch is going to be great for response. Using this particular piece should be great for response and quality. You can buy these lower pieces from QuarterMaster or from Superstore, just the flywheel side itself. So I just love the versatility. It's made in the USA. You know your money's going to a good place if you're from the USA. And I have nothing really else to say about this. I'm very happy with it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again another time. Bye-bye.